Can you fit 33-inch tires on a 4th gen 4runner with less than 3 inches of lift? Yes and no. My 4runner actually has less than 3 inches of lift. Come around here. But they didn't just bolt right up and clear no problem. I had to do some cutting, some trimming, and now they don't rub at all. I'll show you the stuff I had to do to make them fit. So the suspension setup on my 4runner specifically is, it's lifted based on my measurements. It's a bit over 2 inches, probably closer to 2.5 inches. On Fox 2.0 coilovers up front with 2.0 rear shocks, Old Man Emu 895 rear springs, and those are 285/70 17-inch Goodyear Duratracs. Now, one thing that helps is the aftermarket wheels. These are a 0 offset, which helps to clear the front control arm. So I did indeed have to do some trimming and cutting to this. Nothing crazy. I didn't have to do a body mount chop, believe it or not. It was all just plastic stuff, which is, in my opinion, not that big of a deal. The other things that I did, actually, now that I think about it, I removed the rear mud flaps. Obviously the running boards are gone. Up front, I got rid of the mud flaps up here as well. As you can see, I put the stock bolts back in just to plug up the holes. This is Canada, we don't want rust. So you can see the clearance there. Lots of room. I mean, if I was to hit a hardcore bump at speed with the wheels fully locked, yeah, it might rub. But what are the chances of that happening? Okay, so I'm going to take you through what I did up front here to make these clear. I pushed the fender liner here, I pushed that forward probably a good 4 or 5 inches. You can, if you relocate where the bolts screw in, you can actually get quite a bit of clearance there. So I did that, and then as you can see, right around here, I had to do some trimming. Nothing crazy. I try to do a somewhat clean job, but again, I mean, it's an off-road vehicle. It doesn't need to be show quality. But yes, the SEMA Beaver did pay me a visit, and I did have to chop some stuff up. Now back here you can see that is a completely intact body mount. I did not chop it. I've never rubbed on it. It's been fine. The key is running enough caster to have the wheels slightly forward. So you can see here, I mean, I wouldn't consider that fully stuffed. I'm sure there's lots more room to go, but you can get an idea of the path of the wheel and how it'll clear the bumper end, and it'll clear, more than clear up front here. So the rear is never really a problem on these, unless you're running like a really big, like say a 35 or something. You don't have many problems clearing in the rear. As long as you take the mud flaps off the back, it's fairly easy. I don't know of anybody that's had to cut or chop or anything back there unless they're running really big tires. But yeah, that's kind of an idea of how these tires fit. They are a true 33. They fit without rubbing, not just on road, but as you can see, flex, they fit fine. You just have to be willing to do a little bit of cutting, and you need to have your alignment specs pretty well dialed in. But again, this is just shy of 2.5 inches of lift up front, probably not even, and those are 2-inch lift springs in the rear.